how men test you 30, 45, and 60 days into dating you.
and exactly how to respond at each stage. So, this is going to help you stay detached, stay super magnetic, and have the man chasing you.
Yes. And again, I'm Coach B for those of you who are just joining for the first time. I'm Coach B, of course, former lifelong bachelor of 30 plus
Mhm.
years, dated and married my amazing wife, Coach Tosh, who was a former single mom of
Mhm.
four.
Yes. What's up, ladies? I'm Natasha, former single mom of four, and I help you ladies re regulate your feminine energy, your nervous system, so you can stay detached and unbothered, and your hormones as well. So, this channel is going to be your favorite channel, if it's not yet already, on dating and marriage and relationships, and really you being activated in that soft, magnetic, feminine energy that attracts provider energy men.
And I'm going to give you the male's perspective today on exactly how men test you at
Yes.
that 30, 45, and 60-day mark of dating you. And it's somewhere around there. It's not
Yes.
exactly those
Yes.
days, but you get what we're saying.
Well, and also this is research based.
Yes.
So this is actual research, and this also comes from experience. So we
Mm.
have coached well over 1,000 women to date. Many of them have gotten engaged and married. Many of them came to us. They were in situationships,
Yes.
they were in toxic relationships, they had never been married, they were single mamas, divorced, all that. We got you.
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be really, really good for you ladies to be aware of, so you don't waste your time. And just so you know, that 45, 60-day mark, when Coach B tested me, I cut it off. Okay. And we'll tell you why that happened.
Yeah, and I'm excited to share today because trust me, getting married for the first time in my 40s,
Yep.
this is something that I had done subconsciously for years, but definitely going to let you ladies know how to position yourself so you can recognize this
Hmm.
and so you don't find yourself caught up in year-long situationships where you're waiting for something to change.
No, exactly, ladies. You don't got time to waste. And of course, ladies, you can also drop your questions and we will get to your questions at
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just jump right into it. If you could
Okay.
kick off the first point.
Okay. So, and also before we get to the 30-day mark test, just disclaimer, okay? That we got to preface
Yes,
this,
please.
ladies. This is for healthy men that are actually dating you.
Yes.
So, this is not for toxic, unhealthy
Yes.
situationships. This is for men that actually are pursuing women for marriage.
Yes.
And also, this does not count if you are in a situationship long distance where you guys don't see each
Yes.
other, okay, where it's just like phone calls and video calls and
Yes.
text messaging. This doesn't count, okay?
Yes.
So, and if you are stuck in those types of situations, you still want to watch this so
Mm.
you understand what healthy dating looks like with a healthy provider man
Yes.
that actually wants to marry you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and adding to it, if you've just had a texting relationship or a good morning, beautiful relationship, you cannot start the clock on it and say, we've been
Yes.
knowing each other for 30 days.
Yeah.
He told you he liked you, he wants to be with you,
No.
but you haven't gone out. He hasn't pursued you the right way. Please don't count it for
Yes.
that, but listen in because trust me, as long as you're dating, you'll run across these type of men. If you're not in a healthy place, you'll run across men that want to waste your time. But it's good that
Yes.
you have the tools. We're giving you the tools today so you won't find yourself in that position.
Yeah, and we met online, ladies, okay? So we understand that life. We dated long distance, we dated from different countries, and I was a single mom
Mm,
with four kids, okay? So we deeply, deeply understand
yes,
your situation, just
yes,
so you know.
yes,
All right, so let's get into it.
yes,
So around the 30-day mark, how a man will typically test you, and this is subconscious, okay? Most men are not consciously aware of
yes,
this. What we're teaching you ladies on this channel and the FEA is how men really think, and they don't often realize it.
yeah,
Okay. So anyway, around within the 30-day mark,
yeah,
it might not right be at the 30-day, but within the first 30 days, you guys have been on at least one date together, I hope, at this point. Okay. He is likely wanting to see if you're into him.
mm,
So men generally want to know, hey, is she
yes,
interested in me?
mm,
Okay. And then the other thing that he's going to be subtly looking for is she emotionally
yeah,
independent? So men are actually really attracted to, and you can talk about this, women that are independent, but not independent like I could do everything myself independent. Okay? No. We're talking emotionally independent, meaning that you don't have this needy, desperate energy. You're not anxious. You're not overthinking. And a lot of times, you don't even have to say anything. They can feel your energy.
Yes.
So, this is why it's so important, ladies, during this stage that you stay emotionally detached. And I don't know if you want to add anything before I go deeper into that.
No, no, I want to jump into the how men are really trying to
Yeah.
figure out if you're into them.
Yeah.
And how it looks is a lot of times when they're in that getting to know you phase, it's about you being available. And I'm
Mhm.
not just saying, okay, every time he reaches out, you're available to see him, but you're available in a sense of your energy. You're available with your energy, with your time as well. Men aren't usually looking for you to say, I want to be with you. That doesn't
Mhm.
make a man feel like you're into him. What makes a man feel like you're into him is how he feels in your presence. So when you're around each other, when he's trying to put stuff together, are you available or are you always doing something? Okay,
Yeah.
I have my kids, I don't have a babysitter, I have to work today. If he's hearing things like that, then that'll cause most healthy masculine energy men to take a step back because right now you don't have space for him.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that tea didn't work. No. Right now you don't have space for him and you don't have the time and availability, so he wants to chase you. Men want to
Yeah.
pursue, they want to come after you, but if you're not even in position that you're allowing him to chase you, then he's not going to force it. So
Yeah.
men are kind of figuring things out those first couple of weeks, those first 30 days.
Yeah.
And if you're not showing any type of energy availability,
Yes.
anything where you're showing him that it's something about him that you're interested in getting to know even more, most men won't take it to the next level because we understand as men. And this is something that
Yeah.
I didn't have to go through,
Yeah.
thankfully, because even though we were in different countries, she was still showing that she was into me and was
Yeah.
willing to get to know me. Even by me setting up phone calls, she may not have been available when I wanted to talk to her, but she was open and willing to put a schedule together and
Mhm.
say, I'm not available now. But what about the 7 o'clock work?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's being willing to work with him during that process because we understand at the beginning that we don't have full access to you. You don't have to be
Yeah.
accountable to us, but it's the effort that the men want to see. And if you show that the fact that you actually like him and you're interested in potentially seeing him, going out on dates with him,
Yeah.
he'll come all at you. But those first 30 days are so key for men because that's what we're looking for.
So, ladies, it's this beautiful balance. And this is only going to be able to be possible for you, ladies, if you've done your inner healing and you genuinely are happy about your life, you're confident, you're doing the things that we teach you in the
Yes.
FEA. But basically, it's like the man wants to know that you're actually interested in him,
Yes.
which makes sense. You don't want to play hard to get, right? Because
Yeah.
he's not going to bother pursuing you if you're just trying to play games with
Yes.
him and you're being, you're avoidant, the wall is up,
Yeah.
all that stuff. He's probably going to be bored and move on.
Yes.
So he wants to know that you're into him, but he doesn't want you to be so into him where you're like, "Oh my gosh,
Yes.
you're the one.
Yes.
I've never met anyone like you. I'm not going to date anyone
Yes.
else." You're oozing
Yes.
needy, desperate
Yes.
energy. You've just got out of a situationship or a marriage. You can't help it, but you're still embodied in that needy, wounded
Yes.
energy, even if you don't think you are.
Yeah.
This is why we always tell our ladies before you go on the dating scene, before you start going on dates, on dating apps, you need to do some healing first because men can sense when you're in that wounded, desperate energy, even if you look perfect on the
Yeah.
outside.
And
Yeah.
it's that delicate balance, right? The
Yeah.
balance where you're allowing him to know that you like him, you want to be
Yeah.
with him, but you're not pursuing him. You're not
Yes.
chasing him. You're not telling him everything that's on your mind because when you're getting to know a man, if he's someone that you see potentially you could be with, sometimes you can get ahead of yourself as a
Mhm.
woman and you can just start telling him everything because we're sharing, we're open with each other. Let me just tell him everything that I feel, the future. That scares away a man. And
Mhm.
I mean, that doesn't work well with most men's nervous systems when you just come at them and come at them. So it's really understanding how to approach it. And a lot of times we haven't been taught that. We
Mhm.
haven't been taught how to show without just going all out. Because what we hear nowadays is, if you like him, go let him know. If you
Yes.
like him, tell him, get his phone number. And that's not the correct approach for a woman
No.
if you're looking to attract a healthy masculine energy man. That lets them know that they can be with you, they can sleep with you, but it's not going to cause them to want to take things to the next level.
And what happens, ladies, and we know this because we coach a lot of women,
Yeah.
when you start off the relationship where you're coming on to him, meaning you're getting his number, you're giving him, your number, like you're approaching him.
Yes.
Okay. When you're approaching him, because you're attracted to him, you're physically attracted to him. So you are in your masculine energy, he's in his feminine.
Yes.
So that might work at the beginning. Things will be hot and heavy, but it will turn into a situationship, and it'll turn into a situation where you are going to be dragging him along and he's not feeling ready because he wasn't the one that initially approached you. This is really important. And also during the first 30 days and moving on, really, ladies, you want to be rotationally dating. You're talking to multiple men, not sleeping with these guys. Let me reiterate that, ladies. You're not sleeping with them, okay? You're just talking to them, getting to know them, vetting them, collecting data to see who matches your list for a husband.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Now, if you are struggling in that area, ladies, side note, if you don't have multiple men that are talking to you and wanting to take you out on dates, then I do encourage you to jump into the FEA and get our help with your dating profiles, because this is something we specialize in. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So let's jump to
Let's do it.
around day 45. You gave them day
Yes.
30.
Yes.
I'll give them day 45. So around the 45th day,
Yeah.
most men that are serious about wanting to be with you want to take things to an exclusivity level. They don't want you talking to anyone else. They want to be with you. They want to make sure that they have your attention and other men don't. So some men ask for it right away.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want to be exclusive with you. And I'm not saying that's not healthy or whatever the case is, but if a man is venting and going through the process and not just emotional with it, but he's really looking at what type of woman you are. Is this the type of woman that I can be with? Around that 45-day mark, then he's going to want to take you off the market. He's going to want to start pursuing you in a different way, towards marriage. Because remember, we always say this, within the first 3 to 6 months, most men know if they want to marry you, they'll probably they'll probably propose to you, let you know they want to be with you. So around that 45-day mark, they're going to try to take you off the market. But and you can go into this because this is a situation that we had when we were talking. Everything was great.
Yeah.
And around the 45-day mark, what happened was things weren't going anywhere. So you got it from here.
So what happened was, in our situation, it was maybe a little bit after 45 days.
Okay.
I would say between 45 days to 60 days is typically when men are asking, if you're talking to other guys, I want to be exclusive with you, something along those lines. Now, ladies, if he's not, and okay, first of all, let's first of all and say, don't be exclusive with these guys. You want to keep rotationally dating until the right guy steps up for marriage. Okay. So first of all, I want to say that. But if he's not even bringing things up, going to that next level within 45 days to maybe 2 months, he's probably not that serious. Even if he says he's serious. And my husband did that with us. Okay. So we had been talking for, I think it was about 2 months.
Close to a couple months.
It was close to a couple months. Even though we were long distance, we had seen each other. We met each other's love lists. Things were amazing. His energy was coming towards me consistently, calling, texting every single day. Said of course, he's dating for marriage.
Yes.
Guys will tell
Who
you everything.
wouldn't date for marriage?
Yeah, that's right. All of that stuff.
Yeah.
But then coming closer to that 2-month mark, he wasn't taking it to that next level, in the sense of, talking about marriage, talking about timelines, talking about exclusivity, even just coming to see me because we were long distance. So I quickly recognized that, and I was like, you know what? You obviously have a lot going on. I was not triggered, right, ladies? We're emotionally independent. We're not triggered. Okay, ladies, this does not work if you are triggered as a woman. So I was not triggered. I was not spiraling. I wasn't anxious. I wasn't needy. I was just like, babe, you're awesome. I think you're awesome. You got a lot going on. I don't want to waste your time.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my time. So have a nice life.
Yeah.
And that was literally the conversation. I
Wow.
remember I was standing in my kitchen, did a
Mm.
quick little FaceTime, and you could tell the look on his face was shock, but
Yeah.
also he understood.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And you really have to be able to make that decision. And it's so important to get the healing on both ends
Yeah.
because I had been in a failed engagement
Yeah.
previous to that years ago. So what happens is when you get to these points within the relationship, if you haven't done healing,
Yeah.
then it's hard to take that next step.
Mhm.
And that was the place for me, just taking that next step of getting back into a serious relationship. So it'll come out. You'll feel it, you'll know it, and you won't even have to look at a calendar. If you look up, it'll be a couple of months in, 45 to 60 days, and then things start to change. It's like, okay, you'll think, and please, ladies, don't say this. Don't say what are we? Don't go up to them and say what.
Please. Yeah.
Don't say what are we, but that's what you start feeling like,
Yep.
okay, what are we doing here? We've been talking. We know we like each other. You said that I'm special, that I'm nobody's like me. Whatever he said. He said everything to make
Yeah.
you feel good, like you're the most special woman. But it's like, what are we doing here?
Mhm.
And if, trust me, don't bring it up to them. But if they're not initiating anything, if they're just okay with things going the way they are, I'm just trying to feel things out. I want to see, how it is in bed before we take that next step. Whatever they say, trust me, don't listen to any of it. Don't believe any of it. It's always about what are they doing. And if they're not looking to take it to the next level, then you have a decision to make because you don't want to waste time with people hoping, praying, giving them the benefit of the doubt, but they haven't shown any signs because what I did, and we
Mhm.
have to tell the rest of that story. After
Yes.
we not even separated, we weren't together, but after she detached and went silent,
Yeah.
about 8 months later, I reached back out to her. I had done some inner healing, done some work, got some things in order within my life.
Yeah.
And when she answered the phone and we talked, it was right to the point. I was telling her exactly where I was at in my life, what I wanted moving forward, how I was approaching things differently, and then started making plans on coming to see her, coming to move there. It was a few things in between
Yeah.
there, but everything started to line up, and it wasn't just a bunch of conversation.
This is why it's so important not to sleep with them,
Yeah.
ladies, because as soon as you sleep with them, you are going to be emotionally attached,
Mm,
hormonally attached, energetically
yes.
entangled, quantum entangled with them. That's why you feel like you love them
Yes.
and you just want to be with them and you want to give them so many chances.
Mm,
And they're such a great guy and he
yes.
just needs time to figure things out and all of that. And we're being super honest and vulnerable with you. We did hook up right away,
Yeah.
right? So we did hook up right away within that first 45-day mark,
Yeah.
and it fell apart because when you don't do things God's way, it doesn't work.
Mm.
Okay. Even if you have the perfect love list, the perfect
Mm,
guy in front of you,
yeah.
he might be the perfect guy. But when you hook up with a man right away, it changes him hormonally and it changes you hormonally.
Mm,
This is actual science of falling in love. When you sleep with him right away, his testosterone's going to go down and he's just not going to be he's going to be focused on other things.
mm,
He'll still keep you around. He'll still want to call
yeah.
you. Like this would have turned into a situationship if I would have allowed it. I might not have been married yet.
That's
We might
true.
not even have this YouTube channel,
That's true.
right? To be honest, right? So, but thankfully, even if you've made that mistake, you can change directions, right? And
Mm,
this is why we like sharing with you guys our actual
yes.
story because we did make the
Hmm.
mistakes. We went through that. And thankfully, I had enough healing where I did cut it off right
Yes.
away because I could see, okay, this isn't going anywhere. You're a great guy.
Hmm.
You could really like each other, but that doesn't mean he's for you.
Yes.
If he is not ready, ladies, that means he is not for you, even if you think he's the best guy in the world.
Yeah. And it's
Okay?
so important and to it when you're detaching from him, if
Yeah.
you end up sleeping together before or whatever
Yeah.
happened before, you're not waiting around for him because what
Yes.
happens is in our situation, that's an anomaly. It doesn't
Yeah.
always happen that way.
Yeah.
So you don't want to look and say, okay, Coach B and Coach Tosh, they did it, they separated, then they came back and look at them now. No, you want to position yourself for your husband.
Hmm.
And in this case, I just happen to be her husband because I did the work.
Yeah.
But you're not waiting around for him. You're not saying, okay, I did it for 6 to 8 months, just like Coach Tosh and Coach B.
Mhm.
And where's he at? No, you want to detach, you want to go silent, then you want to keep your eyes open for the man, not him necessarily.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
most cases, it won't be that same person. That's
Yeah.
the reality of it, because you don't want to get your expectations up and say, okay, I'm holding out. Because we've seen this with so many ladies. They're
Yes.
saying, like, okay, I detached. It's been a month, it's been 2 months. Where's he at? Where he's still doing his thing. He's still not ready. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure you don't miss out on your husband waiting for your ex-boyfriend.
That's so good. That's a perfect sign that you're not actually detached, is you're
Mm.
still looking out for him.
Yeah.
I never once was looking out for him.
Mm.
Literally, I deleted everything. I had moved on with my life. And I did all the inner work that I teach you ladies in the FEA, in the
Yes.
Feminine Energy Academy. This is why literally 100% of the women that I have coached
Mm.
that have done what I teach them in the Feminine Energy Academy, the guy comes back.
Yeah.
100% of the time, unless he like went off and got married, which in my situation with the women I've coached, that hasn't ever been the case, but they always come back. But you have to be properly detached. Otherwise, if you're checking, oh, when is he coming back? You're not detached at
Right.
all. Okay. At all. So you're not checking for these guys. You're moving on with your life and you're rotationally dating and you're doing your inner healing.
Yes.
If you don't like the patterns you are playing in dating a relationship, if you don't like the men that are showing up for you, if you don't like the fact that they're breadcrumbing you, they're, dragging their feet, they're hot and heavy at the beginning, and then they pull away after, instead of getting mad at the guys, I want you to pause and actually get some healing.
Yes.
Okay. We got to heal your love blocks. Typically, it's stuff going on in your nervous system that we need to heal, and just things going on
Yes.
subconsciously that we can help you with. Okay. And then you'll notice men will start treating you differently.
Yes. And
Yeah.
before we get to the 60-day mark,
Yeah.
if you're checking his Instagram, if you're
Yes.
checking in with his mom, if you still look
Yeah.
at his kids, go to their game, if you're doing everything around them, checking with their friends to see how they're doing, you haven't detached. Even if you're holding on to old clothing,
Right.
this is his smell, or I love when
Yeah.
he wore this right here. I still have his hoodie.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, that's not fully detaching. Fully detaching means that
Yeah.
he's not in mind, he's not in sight, because
Yes.
that energy is still prohibiting your husband, because you
Yes.
you have your mind, you have your energy on him. And that's felt with other men, where it's like, yeah, you look, I thought you was married. If you ladies hear anything like that, I thought you were married, or I thought you were in a relationship. That's why I never said anything, because in your mind you're still in that relationship. So it's fully
Yeah.
detaching from them, any clothing or
Yes.
products
Yeah.
they had, and the people around him that you may have made friendships with, because
Hmm.
you've been with them for so
Yeah.
long. So you may share friends, but not only that, you're keeping in contact and
Hmm.
keeping tabs on him through them.
Yeah, you are fully emotionally detached, meaning that you are not obsessively thinking about the
Mhm.
guy. Because energetically, this is a game of energy. Energetically, that's when you
Yes.
block your husband. True detachment is the freedom of being able to make other choices.
Mm.
So if you find you're like, I can't stop thinking about him,
Mm.
you're just emotionally attached to this guy still. That's when you want to get healing. You want to heal your attachment style. You want to heal your nervous system. You want to heal all of that so that you can clear
Yes.
space, clear that energetic space for your husband to actually see you. We say this all the time, ladies. You can't be in the frequency of situationships
Yes.
and the frequency of being in a healthy marriage with a provider man at the same time.
Yeah.
You got to choose which channel you want to be on. Okay.
Mm.
And if you're struggling with that detox process, then of course take some time, jump in the FEA. It's free.
Yeah.
You can binge watch the content in there. You can have us as your coach and we can help you through the process.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready to jump
Yes.
into the 60
Let's
day
do it.
mark? You got it?
Oh, you want me to say it?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Okay, so around the 60-day mark, this is a good sign, and this is a sign that he is just not that serious about you, okay? And he is starting to introduce you to his social network.
Mm.
So he's introducing you to his social network, and also he has a timeline for marriage. He has
Mhm.
a timeline for marriage. So if he is not talking about marriage, if he doesn't have plans for you guys, he's not making future
Yeah.
plans, Okay. He's not doing any of that. He's not introducing you to his friend group,
Yeah.
to his family. That is a sign he is not serious about you. Now, once again, don't obsess. Oh my gosh, it's 3 months. He hasn't. No. Okay. This is like
Yes.
approximately around that 60-day to 90-day mark, that 2 to 3 month mark.
Yes.
You're going to notice that he's going to want to introduce you to
Yes.
people that he's close with, and he's going to be making plans
Yes.
for your future together.
Yeah, and one way as well, what he'll start doing, his language starts to change. Instead
Okay.
of I, it'll be like us or we.
Yes.
And he'll also start, even though he may not say it's for you all, he'll start looking at houses, places to live, start talking about, okay, do you see yourself living here or do you see yourself ever moving? Whatever he
Yeah.
desires to do, he'll start having these conversations. And like you said, he'll start bringing you to functions. It may be a family function, it
Yeah.
may be a work function. He'll start inviting you out because now he's at the point,
Mhm.
if it's a healthy provider energy man and really sees himself with you, he's at the point now where, okay, I've seen enough to want to take things to the next level.
Yes.
So let me start incorporating her. Let me start doing things that include her and allowing you to meet family and close friends, because for some people it's close, their friends are closer than their family in some
Mhm.
cases. So
Mhm.
don't look at it as a knock if they're not introducing you to their family. They may be super close with their friends. So bringing you around those circles so their friends can get a feel for you. And it's not necessarily so their friends can say you should or shouldn't be with them, but just naturally how
Mhm.
you communicate with them, how you're around them, just seeing those things. Men will do that quickly if they want to be with you because they want to know, are you comfortable in those environments? And are you a different person? Are you putting on a show? Like, who is this person? Or are you just normal and comfortable in those environments? So you'll
Mhm.
see that around the 60-day mark if a man is serious about
Yeah, so after 60 days to 90 days, if you're not seeing any of these signs, ladies, this is a really good sign
you.
that you should be considering moving on, really, or, having some conversations. But even at this point, even, the 60, 90-day mark, you should still be rotationally dating. You should not be
Yes.
exclusive with a man. And this is why you're not sleeping with
Yep.
these guys. But you should not be exclusive with a man until you have a ring on your finger or you're about to have a ring on your finger.
Yep.
He has solid timelines for you. Now, exactly what you're saying, Coach B, is you don't want to be the one that has to bring all this up for a man.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the one that's bringing this up, how come I haven't met your friends yet? How come I haven't met your family yet?
Right.
What are we? What's your timeline? All that stuff. No, 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 no. That's not going to work. He is going to run. He's going to be repelled
Yeah.
because masculine energy doesn't want your energy coming towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Subconsciously, he'll be turned off. So you got to do what we teach you, ladies, where you're in your soft feminine, you're rotationally dating, you got options, you're detached, you're emotionally detached, but you're still amazing to be
Mm.
around. And naturally, he is going to bring these things up. If
Mm-hmm.
he is a healthy man and is ready for marriage, he is going to bring these things up. He's going to bring up future plans.
Yes.
He's going to bring up exclusivity. He's going to bring up, wanting to bring you around other people.
Yes.
And that's when you can talk about timelines
Yes.
around marriage. So
Yes.
you don't waste your time, ladies.
Yes. And I
Yes.
love even the way you talk about timelines
Yes.
around dating as a woman. And we go so deep into it in the Feminine Energy Academy, but understanding that you're always talking about your desires, not what he wants, not,
Mhm.
okay, not him connected to your desires. No, this is what I'm going to do. And if he's a part of it, great. But you're never putting pressure on him to do what you want in your timeline, because if he's not lined up with it organically,
Mhm.
then you have to make a decision. You're rotationally dated. You have to move on,
Yeah.
because whenever a man feels forced, and some men will still go through with it
Yeah.
because, they feel forced and it's just, this is a convenient situation.
Yeah.
They may go through with it, but you don't want that because their heart won't be in it if they're not leading in that area.
That's so, so good. So, once again, ladies, if you are finding yourself in dating patterns that are not anything like this,
Yes.
then we encourage you to get healing and learn how to date differently.
Yes.
And actually, speaking of which, before we get to your guys' questions, on Saturday, Coach B is doing an exclusive
Yes.
masterclass coaching session for our ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy to really teach you how the masculine brain works, how they think.
Yes.
And the topic for that is what men cannot
Yes.
resist. Okay, so this is a skill set that I developed that we teach our ladies in the FEA, and you want to have, ladies. When you're dating, you want to really understand what men desire, not just any men, provider men, masculine energy men. What do they desire? What do they crave? What can they not resist? What makes you stand out so much as the woman? So you're not in chasing mode.
Yes.
Okay. So you can jump in for free right now, and the masterclass is tomorrow mornings.
Yes.
If you're watching the replay, you can catch the replay in the Feminine Energy Academy as well.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Yeah.
tomorrow's masterclass. So make sure you jump on for that. I want to get to a couple of
All right.
questions as well. So we have one person says, what would you recommend to a woman who's co-parenting but healing and moving on? I'm finding way more options aligned for me in other cities.
Yeah.
However, I cannot move because of their father.
Oh, that's so good. We actually coach a lot of women like that. We actually just had a woman in the exact same situation get engaged. Okay. So this is something we definitely understand. You still have options because for the right situation, you attract the right type of man, he'll make it work. Okay. So what I encourage you to do, I don't know how much healing you've done, but that will always be your starting point. I always tell all my ladies, you gotta look good. Okay. So you want to look good. You want to feel good in your hormones. You want to do some nervous system healing. You want to heal your attachment styles, heal some love blocks. You want to skill up. So you want to, learn how to have a dating profile, how to optimize your dating profile.
Yes.
This is something that we can help you with. Okay. And then, how to communicate with the man. And then you still, put yourself out there. You can date different men in different cities, but you just have to be honest with them
Yes.
about your situation. Now, you don't want to do that right away, but you want to connect with people, and the right guy will, he'll still want to be with you.
Yeah.
But what do you think, honey?
No, definitely. You hit it on the head with that. And the first thing is always the healing. Make sure you're in a position where when you're able to attract that guy that you're mentally, physically, emotionally available. And the city part, I mean, if a man really wants to be with you, it's not about you going to him.
Yeah.
Because even in our situation, she had kids, she had stuff going on, she just wasn't able to make the move as easily. I was, at the time I was a single bachelor who, working from home. So I had availability. So I was able to get up and move. So no matter what was going on in my life, once she attracted the right type of guy, I was available, my schedule lined up with it. And that's what happens when you get in alignment. So it's not concerning yourself about, I want to go to another city. What about this? It's taking it one step at a time, because what happens so often is a lot of times, even, the ladies that ask questions, sometimes it's like, okay, hypothetically speaking, okay, what about this? What if this happens and that happens? My thing is always, let's take things one step at a time. Where are you now? How can you get from point A to point B? We're not going from point A to point F. We have to go one step at a time. And how things work is doors start opening up when you get in alignment. Things start working themselves out. So even the challenges you had with traveling just open up because you start getting in alignment and dealing with the inner you. So that's my suggestion. Work on yourself. Work on those areas within yourself that may need healing. And the man is always going to be there as long as you're looking good. You're going to attract a healthy man that wants to provide for you. So don't even focus on that. Focus on self.
Well, remember, men are sperm, right? The masculine is the sperm. That's sperm energy. So they're designed to go the distance. And true story, okay? So when he decided, like, he came back and he's like, no, I want to be with you for real. And I still didn't take him seriously until he actually came to Canada. We were living in Canada at the time. We live in the US now. But anyway, I remember that's when they were talking about COVID happening again, and like they were going to have, the other version of the shutdown, and we weren't going to be traveling again. And I remember specifically saying to him, because it was really, really serious. They were really talking about this on the news, that the world was going to shut down again. And I was like, you might come to Canada and you might get stuck here. because they're talking about shutting everything down again.
Right.
And I will never forget. He's
Yes.
like, if I get stuck, I want to be stuck with you. And
Yes.
I was
Yes.
like, oh, I love you so much.
Yes.
So
Yes. And trust me, doing that, I didn't know what I was saying because when I went up to Canada, it was not anything like
oh
I
my
thought.
gosh, you guys, this was true love because I'm from a really small town, like a small hick town in Canada. Okay. And so for him to come from the
Yes.
US, Chicago, where
Yes.
Chicago is one of the most beautiful cities on the planet, where they have access to the best
Yes.
food and the
Yes.
best everything.
Yes.
And for him to give that up
Yes.
and come and be with me and potentially be stuck there, that
That's
showed
the
me
type of
he was
commitment.
serious.
That's
He
the
was
type of
serious.
commitment a man who wants to be with you is going to give you.
Yes,
So don't accept anything
that's
less
right.
when you put in the work.
Yeah,
So
so good.
definitely want to get to the next question. Now she says I joined the FEA and have been binge listening
I
to
love
the
it.
audios, game changer for mindset shifts, especially first thing in the morning.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. We gotta save that.
Yes, we have to save it. I'm not sure who that was who said that.
Can I see that for a
Yeah,
second? Thank you.
definitely. I'm not sure who that was that said that.
Where is it?
Um, it's up there. You'll find it. I'll go to the next question
Okay.
because we have a few questions. Says I've gone no contact, but it is so difficult to not reach out to her. This is a man. I was getting ready to marry. She felt she needed to grow into a more mature person and had no room for a relationship.
Move on, baby.
Yes, and this is a man
Oh,
who
okay.
said this.
Yeah.
So if you made sacrifices for her, if you showed her that you're ready to take the next step,
Hmm.
and she says she needs to do some things or whatever she said that she's not ready, that's not even natural for most women who are ready because most women are if they're dating you and talking to you, they understand that that's the actual next step. But if she's okay with the situationship, if she's okay with just casually dating you, then the best thing is to move on. You don't want to force her into wanting to be with you or force her. No, she has other stuff going on. She's probably dating other people. And you don't want to put yourself in that situation where now, you're just not only chasing her, but you're forcing stuff.
Yeah.
It's one thing to chase a woman, but you start forcing things
Yes.
when she's not in alignment, when she's not agreeing with things. And you start overdoing. Let me show her. Let me just,
Hmm.
I'm going to pay for this, pay for that. And she's her heart's not there.
Yeah.
If her heart's not there, you have to move on because it's definitely
Yeah.
so many women that want to be with men like you who are
Yes.
willing to provide, who's
Yes.
willing to go the extra mile for
Hmm.
them. It's an abundance of those women, so don't settle.
Yeah, exactly. And let me just say that there's a lot of really wounded women right now. We know this because we coach so many women,
Hmm.
and a lot of times their choosing process is faulty.
Yes.
So they're choosing men based on physical looks. Oh, he's tall, dark, and
Yes.
handsome. He needs to be taller than me. It's just based on physical
Yes.
attraction, and a lot of times these guys are wounded and they're into themselves,
Mhm.
and they're bypassing the nice guys.
Yes.
They're bypassing the guys, the good guys that would show up wholeheartedly for them, that would provide for them, but maybe they have a bald head, or maybe they're a little bit shorter, or they're
Yeah.
the same height as the woman,
Yeah.
or maybe they have a little bit of a belly,
Yeah.
right? And so unfortunately a lot of women that are in their wounded energy don't know how to choose men.
Yes.
So if you're as a man and you are pursuing a woman and she's just not into you, that's okay, move on. There's a lot of other women, because we coach them,
Yes.
that are learning how to choose different men that are actually serious for marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
hope for the guys. I know
Yeah.
even when we got together because of how I ate and I worked out and I was active, but
Yeah.
like a lot of guys I was bloated a little because I wasn't.
He had a bit of a belly.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
bloated a little because of the way I ate and whatever it was.
Yeah.
But you don't have to, as a
Yeah.
man, you don't want to put so much focus on that you're not
Yeah.
prepared to be a husband, that you're not
Hmm.
showing your provider side. All of that can change, especially for a man. It's
Yeah.
just being around a woman who's maybe shows him how to eat correctly, who cooks, something like that. Those small,
Yes.
minor
Hmm.
changes. And it's really about taking care of your health. So as long as you're getting with a woman who's really feminine and who's
Hmm.
really into just making sure she's a nurturer and things like that, those things can change. So don't worry and say, okay, I'm too big. I'm whatever the case is. Continue to work on yourself, but the right woman is out there for you.
Yeah.
You just have to understand, and we tell the kids this all the time when I'm coaching
Hmm.
sports,
Yeah.
want who wants you. So if
Yeah.
you're with a woman who doesn't want you, you have to be willing to move on.
Hmm.
It's so many women that do want you.
And ladies, when you're choosing men, and I go really deep into this in the Feminine Energy Academy on dating apps on how to choose men, but I will just say this one thing. When I first saw his photo, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. No,
Mm.
it was like, he looks like a really nice guy. And that's how you're supposed to be choosing men. You never choose men based on looks,
Yeah.
ladies, ever, because you're in your masculine. The masculine is visual. Okay. You can grow to be attracted to
Mm.
the man, and he can do little things like changes how he dressed,
Mm.
he had glasses, like
Yeah.
really old
Yes.
glasses. His hair, I like the bald head.
Mm.
He didn't have the bald head.
Nope.
He dressed differently. He wasn't in shape, stuff like that. But I was like, but his
Yes.
energy is so, like, I can tell he's a nice guy, and I wanted a nice guy. And he was so consistent
Mm.
with pursuing me until
Yes.
until
Yes.
he wasn't. And then he had to get cut off. But now we're back at it.
Ah! So we have someone says, so the distance relationship can work.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, for us, it was long distance. I would say most of the women that I have coached that are now married dated long distance. They
Mm.
met men from other countries, from the US, from the UK, women that were Canadian, women from the Caribbean, women from the US. These types of women have all met men in other countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have another question. No, let me see.
And
Let me
and
go
let me
through.
just
You
let
got
me
it.
just add this, okay? If you do want to date long distance, or you want to open yourself up to dating men in different cities, you need to have strategy. You can't just show up on the internet and be like, okay, I'm going to date whoever. This is how you end up in situations.
Mm.
I literally teach you the entire process of how to set up your dating profile, how to change locations, which dating apps to use, how to communicate on the dating app stage, on the phone call stage, on the in-person
Yes.
stage, engagement stage, marriage stage.
Yes.
These are skills you want to have as a woman before you start dating, okay? So you're not going in there blind hoping that you just happen to find the right guy.
Right.
No, okay? That's what wastes your time,
Yes.
especially if you are a single mom. You don't have time to waste, ladies. You don't, okay? So yes.
Yeah, and this is another question from a
Yep.
man. And again, for the men, I'll be starting a YouTube channel where I'll
Yeah.
be jumping on and giving men advice for you all
Yes, so
so we
stay
can
tuned.
help position you
Mhm.
for the ladies that have done all this work within the Feminine Energy Academy.
Yeah.
And so you can present yourself in the right way. But he says, I'm a man, so I hope it's okay for me to ask here. But his brother passed away this year, and his girlfriend left right after.
Mm.
Together for 4 years, knew her for 14. How do I move on? I feel too much
Oh,
pain. And I'll jump in and then you
yeah.
can jump in as well. But when you're in the, and first off, my condolences,
Yeah.
losing your brother. That's is nothing we can say that can really bring any type of comfort with that. But hopefully you're able to, work through it, with the people that are around you, with your family, and just being as time goes on. But being in a relationship for 4 years with her, knowing her for 14. Now, you can speak to this, babe, but when you're in a relationship with a woman and it's dragging out, I don't know what she desired, but usually most women want to move forward a little quicker. So if it's dragged out 4 years, she might have checked out. It might not have had anything to do with your brother passing, because 14 years
Yeah.
knowing someone and
Yeah.
not getting married. Thankfully, she stuck around that long, but that's a glorified situationship.
Mhm.
It's not leading anywhere. It's just okay. We've known each other for so long.
Yes.
We like each other. We love being around each other. But as a man, when you know this is the person that you want to be with, it's so important that you lock it down, because if you don't, at any moment they can leave, because it's nothing that's holding them there. Besides,
Mhm.
I like you.
Mhm.
What happens is some man may come out of nowhere, and 6 months later he's ready to move forward with marriage. So
Yeah.
dragging it out 14 years is probably the main reason that she left. I'm sure she probably thought about it.
They knew each other for 14
Yeah,
years.
knowing each other, but
Dating.
dating for 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure she probably thought about it. And I don't know what the nature of the relationship is
Yeah.
was for the 14 years. But dragging something out that long makes it difficult to make her want to stay because she doesn't see a future in this unless you started talking about it and moving in that way. But yeah, it's really about making those decisions quicker when you know this is the person that you want to be with.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really know what to add to that.
Yeah.
And I guess I would say also join the Dating for Marriage community because Coach B is going to be putting more, and he has content in there for
Yes.
men, and will continue to put content in there for the guys. Okay, that's the Dating for Marriage
Yes.
community. Yeah.
Yes. So another question or comment we have on here before I get to that one, wanted to go
Oh,
through. Can
there's
you?
Figgy.
Yeah, Figgy. I'm sorry,
She's in our
Figgy.
FEA.
She says, I really want to date long distance and would love some direction.
Oh, okay. Well, Figgy, you're in the FEA, so message me in there, and I'll show you the exact videos to start watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even for those that want to expand and date outside of your area, because a lot of times that's how we grew up. Like, okay,
Yeah.
whoever you see at work, whoever you see at, on your block, those are the people you date. But now things have opened up so much, and we go into it in the FEA, of course, being that we dated long distance. But it's really about being strategic when you're
Yes.
dating long distance. It's not the same as when you're seeing this person all the time.
Mhm.
So you have to have timelines. You have
Yes.
to understand how to approach it, or else what happens is time drags out. Some of the things that they start saying, excuses they give, you're believing them, you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. But it's so important to have strategy when you're dating long distance, or else time will go by, people will have excuses, and you'll start accepting them because you want to make this work so bad.
And also, let me just say that people that play in the avoidant attachment style love dating long distance. Okay. So, this is why you have to be really careful and strategic when you are dating, having those healthy boundaries,
Yes.
standards, and do the energy work that I teach in the FEA because it's all about your energy. Because otherwise, there's a lot of people that are avoidant, and you might be avoidant, even as a woman, or the man that you're dating might be avoidant, and they love long distance relationships because you don't have to get too close. You don't actually have to see each other. You're not actually dating, right? You're only dating if you're seeing each other in person.
Yes.
If it's just FaceTimes and phone calls every day, that's not actual dating. That's why I cut this off so quickly because I'm like, this is not dating, right? And what happens is, especially for us ladies, is you get attached so easily, right? Because he's saying all the right things. It feels so good, getting those morning text messages and phone calls and those Friday night phone calls and on the weekends. It feels so good because you get to be in the comfort of your home. You don't have to dress up and go anywhere, and you're just having those late night pillow talks, right? And you get hooked on each other that way. But you waste your time, right? So we don't want you to go down that path and waste your time. So you want to have strategy ahead of time. And when you do skill up and you do have strategy, you literally have the entire globe to choose from as a woman. So there's an abundance of men, that want to get married, that do the things that we talked about today, the 30-day mark, around the 45-day, around the 60 to 90-day mark. They're moving things ahead because they're serious, right? But you want to stay rotationally dating. You want to keep your options open as a woman. You want to stay emotionally detached so that you can take emotion out of dating and use your logic and reasoning for dating. Yeah.
And you really have to be careful about those long distance relationships and just having those conversations without meeting, because what men know is the more they talk to you, the more information they gather, the more they know what you like to hear. So men will tell you everything you like to hear on those calls, and that'll pull you in. Now it makes it that much harder to in those relationships to detach from him, because emotionally he's connected with you like no other. Like you've never connected with another man emotionally like you have with him. So in your mind, you're in a relationship, but for him, it's just somebody he's talking to get something, whatever he wants out of it. But you want to make sure you don't just have those conversations, because we've seen it as well. Women have had conversations with these men, some of them they never seen,
Yeah.
It's just been like, okay, we met online, we never seen each other, but we've been talking for 6 months, and I'm really in love with him. We'll hear that word
Yeah.
if you allow things to drag out without having those timelines. So it's super important.
And a lot of times, ladies, it's not that you're in love with him. You think you're in love with him. You're in love with the idea.
Hmm.
You're in love with the idea of him. What we do in our heads was we fantasize this idea, especially when you're dating long distance and you don't actually get to see how he is. You
Yes.
fantasize what it could be. You fantasize how he could be, how the relationship
Yeah.
could be, and you're in love with the idea versus actually being with him. That's
Mm.
why being in person is so important
Yeah.
when you are dating.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we had another comment question on here, said, hoping Coach B can talk about how a man re-enters when he
Mm,
decides to come back after a woman walks away,
yeah.
or how I did it specifically. I've heard all sorts, from he will come back and test the waters to see if you're still interested or open.
Yep.
So we chit chat at first for a few days, and before that, he dives into wanting to reconnect. So I've also heard that it could be a fear of she's still open. So exactly how I went about this, and I can kind of tap
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
it a little about how I re-entered when I decided to come back after you walk away. And this wasn't something that, even during that process, when you re-enter into, if a man tries to re-enter into your life, first off, you're not there with open arms and waiting on him saying, I couldn't wait till you came back,
Yeah.
within yourself. Of course, you
Yeah.
wouldn't say these words, but you're coming into it in a sense like this guy is just, he's starting over with you. This
Yeah.
guy isn't someone who's just, we have a history, so let's just pick back up.
Hmm.
That wasn't our situation. But when I re entered, I knew I wanted to be with her. My whole approach was, let her know exactly where I'm at, what I want to do moving forward, where I see us being. I have to have let her know that it's not about, at this point, me trying to sweet talk her, trying to make her feel good, me just coming in and being like, I miss you so much. All of that talk would be later. But at the beginning, to get her attention, my approach was, let her know where I'm at and what I want to do moving forward. If that's something she's in agreement with, then we can kind of have those other conversations. But it was really about me seeing if the opportunity was still there. And
Hmm.
if it was, to let her know that I'm serious now. And not only am I telling you this, but I'm willing to show you.
That's so good. And I was completely emotionally detached the whole time. So, of course, I was so warm and I was happy to
Yeah.
hear from him. Like, legitimately, I was happy. But I wasn't like, oh my gosh, things are going to be different now. No, no, no. I wasn't getting ahead of myself. I
Right.
wasn't planning. No, I was like planning on dating for marriage still, rotationally dating. And he was in another country.
Yeah.
So, I listened to what he had to say, and he was clear on he's going to do things differently. And because I straight up asked him, like, how is this going to be
Yeah.
different? And he told me everything he needed to say, and he knew that he had to come see me. He
Hmm.
knew that this was not going to be a phone call
Yeah.
relationship, because there's no way I would have entertained a phone call relationship. And so he came and he saw me, right?
Yes.
And so he did everything he needed to do and said he was going to do, but I wouldn't have given him more
Yeah.
chances. Yeah.
And most men that are coming back into your
Yeah.
life, they understand,
Yeah.
but you have to understand as well. These men, they know if you're healed. If you're not fully
Yes.
healed, the
Mhm.
approach is totally different. The approach is telling you everything you need to hear. Let me do what worked in the past. Let me go buy her something. Let me take her
Mhm.
somewhere. Let me take her out to eat. She loves flowers. She loves Louis. Let me
Yeah.
get her a bag. Whatever he has to do, he's going to do that when he's not serious about being with you, when he just wants to hook back up, or
Mhm.
when he wants to reconnect or make that situationship open back up. His approach is going to be totally different. It's going to be about him sweet talking you, slick talking you, but it's not going to be about substance. It's not going to be
Yeah.
about him saying, okay, this is what I'm doing different. He's going to do a lot of the same old things that work in the past, but nothing new, nothing different, because it's not needed for where you're at.
This is why it's so important, ladies, that you do your healing, because if you're not healed, your nervous system's not healed, when he comes back, you're missing him,
Mm.
right? So you're going to go right back to sleeping with him, talking to him, and then you're in that same pattern. This is what we call a trauma bond, right? When you guys break up, and then you wait a few weeks, few months, miss each other, get back together, then you break up again and then go back together. That's a
Yeah.
trauma bond.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the pattern that you're in, that's a pattern you need to break,
Yes.
because that doesn't lead to marriage. That's not what we did. We
No.
weren't like getting together, breaking up, getting together,
Not
breaking
at
up. No,
all.
no, it was one time detaching.
Yes.
One time detaching, and then he came back proper, and then we got married.
Yes.
Okay. So it's very different,
Yeah.
very, very different. And I was very healed at that point. We also did not sleep together
Mm.
when he came back, because I was like, no, I'm doing things the proper way,
Mhm.
and I'm waiting for marriage. And I never said to him, I said, I'm waiting for marriage, period. Okay. And so he came with timelines. He did everything. I mean, he moved countries.
Yeah.
He did everything he needed to do to show me that he was serious.
Yeah.
Okay. So you never ever go based on what a man says,
Right.
ladies. You only go based on what he is doing, his
Yeah.
actions. Okay. So you don't waste your time.
Yeah. So SJ said, "Hi guys, you two are so awesome.
Oh, we love you too.
Definitely appreciate it." So a question says, after hooking up, what should be a woman's next step to keep the relationship heading towards marriage?
So after, what is that?
Hooking up after having sex.
Yeah. What should be?
The next step to keep the relationships towards marriage. Well,
Okay.
I'll
That's a great
chime
question.
in.
Yeah.
Usually, when you're hooking up within the relationship and you don't have timelines or things like that, then it's not even going towards marriage. It's just a
Mhm.
situationship. Now, understanding also, and you can go deeper into this, when you hook up, even if you had timelines on marriage, on weddings, things like that, something changes within a man. So you have to understand that, things may change within him if you've already talked about marriage. What you have to do, what you have to do first is have conversations around doing things differently. And in most cases, most men are going to be triggered. Like, what are you talking about? We already started. We'll just keep going until we get married.
Yeah,
But it's not just like a transition. Like, when we were hooking up, now we're just going to, focus on getting married. No, that doesn't work. It's got to be conversation. It's got to be healing done. It's got to be strategy, and you have to have the right tools to move forward. But in a lot of cases, because of what happens inside a man's mind and body, it's hard to just transition from hooking up into let's get married.
Because what happens is now he knows that you're really into him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you've slept with him. So he knows you're really into him, and he has lost his drive.
Yeah.
He has lost his drive to pursue you because he's already conquered you. So you as a woman lose your leverage when you sleep with them right away. And I know men don't want you to know that. And I know you want to sleep with him and he wants to sleep with you and you guys love each other so much or like each other, but you lose leverage as a woman, right? And this is a great filtering system to see, okay, if you want to sleep with me, then like we need to be married. I'm saving myself for my husband.
Yeah.
The wrong guy will fall away and the right guy will step up for marriage. And we know this not in our own situation, but for all the women that we've coached as well. Okay.
Yes.
So, yes, of course, there's grace and mercy if you've made a mistake, right? Like we did as well. But you need to do things differently. If you keep doing the same thing, you're not going to get the same result that we got or other people that we've coached have gotten. You literally have to do things differently.
Yeah.
So, if you guys have already slept together, it's still this whole timeline thing still applies where he should be bringing up, wanting to marry you, timeline around that, introducing you to his friends. If he's not doing any of that, then you should probably cut yourself loose and start dating other men, and detach, and of course get the healing as well.
Yeah.
Break that soul tie.
Yes, and I want to get to this one before we jump off. Donna, who's
Right.
in our Feminine Energy
Hey,
Academy.
Donna, I see you, girl.
Thanks for joining. An ex reached out to me this week.
Of course, they always do in the FEA. All the exes come running.
I blocked and deleted. My husband is on his way. Zero distraction.
There you go. So that's a healed woman
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's so funny because Donna's been in our community for, I think, a couple months now.
Yeah.
She's been in the FEA. So she's done a lot of the inner healing. But it's so interesting when the women first come in. I was talking to 2 women this week, literally. Ex is coming back.
Yes.
Okay. Ex-husband's coming back, ex-situationships coming back. And because they're new, they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? This actually, you said this was going to happen. It's actually happening. I'm like, I told you, this is what happens when you shift your energy as a woman and you do the inner work, the men come running. But it's so important that you heal. And what I told the ladies, they're still in the FEA, they're still doing their inner work. So I'm like, go and do this program, go do that program that I have for you. So you have a lot of clarity on what you're calling in as a husband. So when these guys come back, because they will, you know who to block, like Donna did, and you'll know who to give another chance to, but you'll do it strategically. You can add them to your dating rotation. But if you're not healed, none of this matters. Yeah.
So definitely appreciate all you ladies that jumped on again this Saturday. Tomorrow,
Yes.
I'm doing a masterclass live. So for all the ladies that are in the FEA, be coaching the ladies in the area of relationships and just going deeper into how to attract your man and how to position yourself. So make sure you jump into the Feminine Energy Academy. Right now it's free.
Yeah.
You get a free 7-day trial. Jump in, get access to the masterclass. And when is your next masterclass?
My masterclass is next Saturday, and we're going to be talking about collapsing timelines around money and receiving. So this has to do with money and men, because your relationship with the masculine shows up with your love life and with your money. So if you want money chasing you, you want the masculine chasing you, then we got to work on your energy, and I'll actually teach you how to collapse timelines. So you're not in that hustling mode, okay, in your nervous system.
So you'll have access to both master classes, to all the everything that we have in the feminine. It's so much. Talking about hormones, relationships, money, all the audios, all the videos. You'll have complete access when you jump in. Also, just let us know while you're there. Reach out to, they can reach out to you.
So as soon as you jump in, and this is during your free trial, message me, tell me your story. I love hearing your ladies' stories, and I've heard everything, literally everything. You will not shock me. This is your safe place to heal. So when you jump in, private message me, tell me your story, and tell me what you want to work on. Say, okay, Tosh, I need to work on detaching. I need to work on my attachment style. I need to work on my feminine energy. My hormones are a mess. I got PCOS and fibroids. I need to lose weight. I just need help. Girl, I got you. Okay. So jump in there, and then I can give you stuff to get started. Okay. And we love you ladies so much. Remember, you get to have it. You get to have it all. And you needed to hear that today. Okay.